Hi, and this is Mike Garner from MrMikeGarner.com, coming to you for your personal growth and spiritual development. And I want to talk about personality and life and attachment and detachment. And it's something that I was actually talking about to a very special friend about Buddhism and people here in Thailand, which is where I am at the moment, have this ability to detach and non-react. And non-reaction is what I teach. I always say that you shouldn't react, you should act. That if the world's coming at you and you're trying to catch up and you're not in control, reacting, that's not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is setting goals, knowing your outcomes and moving forward and acting. And that's great in business and life. And then I came to Thailand, a place of non-reaction, a place of peace and smiles, and a philosophy, Buddhism, which I really embrace. And it works if you were brought up here. I wasn't. I've witnessed it in my family for 17, 18 years. I'm now living here amongst a family and seeing that it works for them, if you like. And to a large extent, it works for me. Based on the fact that it wasn't the way that I was taught and brought up by my parents and my role models, I witness it. And you know that I'm very much into witnessing and only engaging, if you like, in things that I want and witnessing things that I don't want and stepping back and creating a gap. So all these things work. But I think that, in my opinion, you've got to have balance between all aspects. Your personality is a made-up construct. You as a person have a personality, and your personality is driven by your ideas and your beliefs at any particular time of your life, any particular year, any particular day. Moods affect personality. A lot of things affect personality. Your personality is plastic, it's malleable. The person that you are, the connection you've got with the cosmos, you as a star child, if you like, a child of God, a creation or an evolved higher being of consciousness, which is another debate. I have my own views, but we're not here to talk about that. That person has a personality, and it can be altered by events and people and influences and times of your life and times of the day, as I said. Detachment is a wonderful thing, but it's not always a needed thing. And although it's taught as a way of stopping suffering or reducing suffering, which would be trauma, upset, all the negative emotions that you could experience, all the negative experiences that you could feel. To me, at times, it's really good to, and I'm going to say something quite funny as a bald man or a shaved man, to let your hair down, to be real, to not be so controlled, although I teach control, that it's quite good to be childlike and not childish, but childlike and play. And sometimes non-reaction can be bland, it can be a bit flatlined in terms of you need duality, you need ups and downs. You don't want mega dips or mega highs. You don't want extremes, because those are poles apart, and that's where we get the expression bipolar, where somebody has got no control over their highs and lows and they're erratic, and that's almost like multiple personality disorder, a schizophrenic. But within us, we all have the ability to be schizophrenic, to be bipolar, to be one thing one minute, the next thing, another thing the next minute, and that could be a moment by moment shift, or a day by day shift, or a month by month, or you could have a bad year and a good year. And that's fine, because you're here to experience everything. You are not just the witness, you are the experiencer. And I believe that this is a beautiful world full of beautiful people, and we live in a three-dimensional reality, meaning everything's got height, width and length, and we have 5 senses, 3 minds and 4 bodies and 7 chakras. Talk about that again if you're interested in knowing where those numbers came from and what it means. But you're here to experience everything, the good, the bad and the ugly. So to experience things, you've got to unleash all your emotions. So it's okay to cry, it's okay to shout, it's okay to laugh, it's okay to do anything. But the trick is not to get stuck in it. And if you do get stuck in it, and it's a negative thing, to get yourself out of it, to shift. Got this beautiful expression which I love to say, which is, when the shit hits the fan, things feel shit, shift. Put an F in shit, S-H-I-T, becomes S-H-I-F-T. But if you're always, in my opinion, in non-reaction, protecting yourself, being protected and cautious, and always the silent witness, limits you. Now that's just a personal opinion, and you might have something to say about that, and if you have, please say it. Because there's the time to be quiet and there's a time to shout. There's the time to work and be serious, and there's a time to play and to let go. And I think we've been given a wonderful world, which is a classroom but also a playground. So I'm very much into embracing Western mindset and Eastern esoteric traditions, and creating a fusion, a synergy, a marriage, if you like, of belief systems. I remember as a younger man striving to make sense of the teachings I got at Sunday school, which I was encouraged to go to by my parents, in fact made to go to every Sunday morning with my sister. And when I got to a certain age, I used to ask questions, and I could never really get satisfactory answers. And then as I got older, into my mid to late teens, I asked more searching questions, and even the vicar at the church that I attended couldn't answer, nor the curate, nor the church leaders, to my satisfaction. They gave their answers, but it was a bit like talking to a politician. You never got the straight answer. If you're interested in my questions, I can talk to you about that again, but to me, I wasn't satisfied, so I went seeking, and I was looking for a seer, a witness, a wise person, somebody who had my answers, and I struggled to find them. I went to a Pentecostal church, I went to an Islamic mosque. That might surprise you. But I found that very edifying and read the Quran. I think I've got a copy of the Quran somewhere. Great book. All the wise teachers from all religions. There's truth, positivity. If you interpret it with a good heart and a balanced mind. And I remember at the time, and I don't know whether or not this particular, I'm sure it does, I'm going to say something which I'm sure will be corrected. We don't hear of it so much. The Baha'is, there was a Baha'i church in Manchester, and the Baha'is used to embrace everything. They didn't particularly, they weren't purist, they weren't single-minded, they were open-minded, which is rare. It's rare in martial arts, which I studied and still study. It's rare in healing systems. Everybody seems to have one way, which really limits you again. But the Baha'is embraced many beliefs and were open-minded, and to be fair, I go to temple here and they welcome me and I say I'm a Christian. I know a lot of Christian and Catholic churches in the UK aren't that open-minded and criticise Buddhism and say that they worship the only living God. I doubt that. And I think to say it is cruel and elitist and arrogant and unwelcoming and unnecessary. I think all religions have truth and they're all pointing in the right direction, and I think they should unite around that. Talk about the similarities and not the differences, and then we'd all get on a lot better. Because it's clear in history that most wars are religious, so religion's got a lot to answer for. There's a lot of people died in the name of God. And the Old Testament, within the Christian and the Jewish faith, there's a lot of killing in the name of God and by God, if any of that's true. And I think that if your religion requires you to hate or kill somebody, then you need to choose a better religion, because life is precious. And within us, within that person, not the personality, is a divinity, a God connection. We came from God, so we have God in us. If you took blood from my body, that blood has come from me. It's my blood. It's got the same properties as me. If you cut into an apple pie, take a piece out, that piece is the same as the apple pie. It came from the apple pie. If we came from God, then we're part of God. God is us. Each one of us is collectively part of God. And even if you don't see God, and I don't, as a guy on a throne, white beard, all that traditional stereotypical mumbo jumbo, I see God as an intelligence, God, the grand organising designer. And so does Buddhism, and so do a lot of faiths and religions. I feel, in my opinion, that we've got to lighten up around these very theological, philosophical concepts. At the moment, within my Mind, Body, Spirit group, I'm sharing Astral Theology, which is the connection between astrology and astronomy and the deities. Because there's no doubt about it that the ancients, in biblical times, and now call them celestial bodies, the planets. There's lots of evidence that the sun on the cross was actually the sun in the sky and not God's son, the person, Jesus, on the zodiac. No, you might have opinions about that, as I have, and it's just an opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. Whatever it is that you believe, I hope that this wind is getting, which is really cool and beautiful to be. I hope it's not affecting the mic, but if it is, it's not affecting this mic, but it might be affecting that mic, so you might be hearing the wind, as well as the bells that I've got around this this place that I've built in my front garden here. But ultimately, the zodiac and the planets do have an effect on us. When you were born, your star sign, the atmospherics, the planetary alignments, because we live in a magnetic universe. And the position of the stars and the planets in relation to us has an effect on us, and that's scientific fact. I mean, the moon, the waning and waxing of the moon makes the sea come in and out. It has an effect on water, and we're 99.99999% water. So it has an effect on us. That's where you get the word lunatic from. Lunar, the moon, the lunar surface. A lunatic is somebody that's affected by the cycles of the moon, and we're affected by the cycles of the sun. It affects our digestion, our metabolism, our immune system, our sleep patterns, our energy, our personality. And you can't detach from that. You're attached to it, and you live in harmony with it or not, depending on your awareness and your ability to witness it and understand it and embrace it and use it. Elemental forces, which is again something I teach, plugging into the power of the planet. If you want to know more about that, you need to talk to me and my daughter, Garner, who teaches all levels of Reiki in the UK, as I do when I'm back in the UK. But here at the moment in Thailand, I'm sharing it here freely amongst the community, the villagers, and other organisations, charities. But it's extremely, extremely powerful. So we started off talking about attachment, not suffering, and having a synergy between religions and being the experiencer and the witness in a way that keeps you safe from things coming at you, so that you don't become reactionary, but then act upon things that move you towards goals that you've already hopefully decided that you want to happily and do, things that you want to have, things that you want to do, things that you want to become, which is another process that I endorse and I created. And I use hypnosis, which is a natural process of mental programming, emotional coaching, and vicarious training, so that you can experience something in a trance in your mind's eye, and then it becomes something that you experience in reality. It's mental rehearsal. It's more than that. Quantumly, it's actually programming the morphogenetic field so that it comes towards you as you move towards it. And you can. This planet being magnetic, you as the witness experiencing things through your personality which you created, can also not only create yourself, you can create your perception of reality, your perception of the world. Everything that's here, and you might have seen the videos or not, it's everything that's here around me. I visualised it was nowhere and it's now here. Said that before, that clever shift of the same letters from nowhere to now here. Most of the things that you've created in your life, things that you want, also the things that you don't want, have manifested for you, turned up, because of decisions that you've made. Thoughts are things. They create things. And so you've got to witness and experience your thoughts. You can't be detached from your thoughts. If you detach from your thoughts and your mind runs away with you, then your life runs away with you. You've got to get control of your thinking. You've got to get control of your thinking. Because your thoughts create your now reality and your future. And depending on your perceptions of the past, they can empower you or destroy you. You can take the learning and move forward, or you can have regret and remorse and limiting thoughts, self-limiting thoughts, and completely dumb yourself down and spoil your life. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. So what do you want for yourself? And what don't you want? If you've got things that you don't want, but you've got to endure it, you've got to detach and get on with it, and plan in your mind and strategically in reality where you are as a stepping stone to where you want to go. And if you need help with that, that's what I do. But if you've got what you want, and you want to really be present for it, don't miss it, because life's short. Enjoy it, fully appreciate it through your five senses, but know what's next and where you're going with it. Protect it, honour it, respect it. Have an attitude of gratitude towards it. Really use your five senses to appreciate everything that you have around you that you enjoy through touch, taste, sight, sound and smell. Because there's no doubt that in Buddhism they embrace colour, sound, vibration, food, dance, chanting, a whole range of things. And they don't necessarily, in all villages and areas that are Buddhist, have the abundance that we have. If you could have that Buddhist attitude of gratitude with all the things that we have to be grateful for, you'd live a wonderful life. Because people here are grateful for very little. We really should be ashamed that we're not very grateful for the abundance that we've got. We don't appreciate it necessarily. I appreciate every day. I appreciate my health, breathing, the fact that I'm still here, having survived things that might have turned out that I wasn't here. It's another story. You've got yours. Other people around you that you know who are dying far too young or have died far too young. And you never know what tomorrow's going to bring, so you've really got to enjoy today. If you only had 3 weeks left to live, what would you do? Nobody knows when they've only got 3 weeks to live. So I suggest you get on and do it now. And if you can't, appreciate what you can do now. Experience it, witness it. That combination, detachment and attachment, which is the best of the Buddhist belief system, Eastern and Western culture. That marriage, that synergy, that fusion. Be open-minded and embrace it all, and in doing so you'll enjoy far more. Keep checking back for more of me, Mike Garner, from MrMikeGarner.com, and if you've got anything to say about what I'm talking about, and I never say I'm right, I'd really love to hear from you. Put your comments in the comments box below, or inbox me privately, or email me at mike@mrmikegarner.com. Have a wonderful day. Take care.